son. Where'd you find this?
Just do it! Make your dreams come true!
A few moments later.
You are now listening to Podcast 42, the world's most popular, inaccurate, and sometimes squirreled retelling of pop culture history.
We will be mainly talking to you about Tim Curry on Podcast 42. The weather here is a cool and breezy something or other.
69.
Oh, it's a 69. It's a 69
Just
degrees
the way
Fahrenheit.
Nicole likes it, the 69.
And on that note, it's time to start the show. This is Podcast 42. I'm Christopher DeVos.
I'm James Duncan.
I'm Nicole Fasone.
And I'm JL Tros.
Hello.
And as James mentioned, we're doing his pick today. Who is it?
It is Timothy James Curry. So
Yay.
Tim Curry for short, if you don't know who that is.
I hope people know who it is.
Timothy James Curry. He was born in April 29th, 1946. He is one of my people. He's an English actor, voice actor, and singer, which not many people know about his singing career, apart from obviously the movies. He is known for his work in diverse range of theatre, film, and television productions, often portraying villainous roles and characters. Curry first rose to prominence with his portrayal of Dr. Frank-n-furter in that movie, The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I love that movie. You know what I love doing doing that movie?
You like wearing tights, don't you?
No, I like to drink beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just skip over that part.
Oh, we went into that. Oh, yeah.
I know this is your show, James, but at least let me have my 2 seconds.
Well, that's all it takes for JL.
JL beer cooler, it's cooler than you think. JL beer cooler, it's cool enough to drink. It's cool enough to drink, yeah.
What do you bring?
I brought Diver Down, an Imperial Red Ale from the Brew Hub just up the road in Lakeland.
If only my Van Halen knowledge was a little bit better.
That was the
I
other
could sing
reason.
something. Women and Children First. I think that was on that album, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which is probably one of their most least popular songs, but that's a song I remember.
Yes.
Ooh, that's malty.
Oh, man, it is malty.
Right, well, more on that later.
Maltiness.
8%.
My friend Tim was born in Grape Hall, Cheshire. And that's Cheshire, not Cheshire, or however you want to say it here in America. And his father, James Curry, chaplain at the Royal Navy, died when Curry was only 12. Curry's mother, Patricia, was a school secretary, died in June 1999 of cancer. His older sister, Judith, was a concert pianist. She died of a brain tumor in 2001. Wow, this is a really morbid way to start. There was lots of death in Tim Curry's family.
We went straight depressing right away.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Dark career, so it kind of all fits.
Yeah.
Curry spent most of his childhood in Plymouth, Devon, but after his father's death from pneumonia in 1958, his family moved to South London. Curry then went to boarding school and attended Kingswood School in Bath, Somerset. There he developed into a talented soprano. Decided to concentrate on acting. Curry graduated from the University of Birmingham with a combined degree in English and drama in 1968. Patrick Barlow, Tim's friend, said of Curry, "I remember being amazed by his extraordinary singing voice. It was just completely perfect, just something he was born with. It came already made." They had shared a house when they were both drama students in Birmingham University in the late 60s. Barlow said, "We would go to university parties and end up having a drink and whatever, and he would just break out into song with this marvelous bluesy voice." Sounds like you, James. Always breaking out into song randomly.
James has a marvelously bluesy voice.
The bluesy voice, I think.
Yes, the bluesy voice and the good theatre production.
James sings like a little girl, if anybody hasn't heard him sing.
I do.
It's a little known fact.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the more you know. While looking for work, Curry scraped by in flophouses. After having to clean blood off the walls one night, he decided to hop in a car along with Barlow, Judy Lowe, and Barry Kyle and drove to London. Barlow said of the trip, "We were going to join this street theater troupe in Chalk Farm. Someone had told us about it. None of us really knew how to get in anything in those days. We got there, and of course, I was the only one who stayed. Tim and Judy got a job in hair the next day. All Tim had to do was just sing, of course. And Judy just had to say, hello, I'm here.
You know what's really the most interesting part of that whole quote?
What?
Is that I never knew chalk came from a farm.
Yes, chalk farm's very famous.
Like, is there rows of white chalk and then other rows of the colored chalk?
Yes.
And then they harvest it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Do they grow like carrots?
No, actually, they grow from trees. Did you not know? The chalk farms they're like little Christmas trees that pop up.
No, I didn't know that.
And you have to snap them off.
I did not know that. I always thought they just remade them from teachers' erasers.
Teachers are what the ones
Yeah, that's
the
why you had
whiteboards?
to. That's why you always had to go outside and like crack the eraser.
Yeah,
Not the
and then they-
blackboards. Sorry, not the whiteboards.
Yeah, which we're showing our age because I don't even think they have anymore. It's all
Blackboard?
computer.
So,
Do you know what blackboard is?
No.
Okay.
wow.
Nuh-uh, you know what a blackboard is.
Like a chalkboard in the classroom.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yes.
I know that.
yeah.
Then
We
why'd
don't
you
need
say
no
no?
education.
Half paying attention.
Yeah, leave those kids alone, Nicole.
Fine.
This went to be Curry's first full-time role. He was part of the original London cast of the musical in 1968. In order to get the part, Curry had to lie and say that he had an equity card, which is proof of membership in the Actors Equity Association, when in fact he did not. Here tells the story of the Tribe, a group of politically active, long-haired hippies of the age of Aquarius. Go ahead.
In the age of Aquarius.
I could tell you were holding it back.
Oh, I'm
I feel like that's the only part of hair anybody remembers.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
But also because it's been featured so many times in different things. What was the movie?
40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah, at
That
the end
was
of
the
it
finale.
with the that was the song with Steve Carell and all those guys sing along with it.
The only thing people know of Hair is that song, and there's a nude scene in it, and that's it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's
So,
where Meatloaf got his start.
In Hair?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He grew it.
he was the one in the nude scene.
Oh, God, I don't want to see that. In Hair, he got a contract for an 18-month run, but only after a year, Curry wanted to leave. He peacefully protested his contract by sitting in the producer's office every morning and saying, "Let my people go." The producers eventually allowed him out of his contract on the terms that his next gig was a step forward from this one. He left for another play where he also played a hippie with one line, "I'm not allowed to smoke marijuana."
Boo.
That's taken from an interview, that whole thing that he actually did. So I don't understand why he sat in the producer's office every morning and said, "Let my people go," when he was the only one that he wanted to go.
Because he was being sarcastic and comedic and probably very annoying every day walking into your office and having some guy there going, "Let my people go."
It was also at Hair that Tim Curry met Richard O'Brien.
Who's he?
Richard O'Brien wrote a gothic-themed shock horror comic book fantasy play called They Came from Denton High. Very famous. Super famous.
Yeah, super famous.
Oh, wait, they changed the name. They changed the name to the Rocky Horror Show and opened it at the theater upstairs in page 2. I'm now Paul Harvey. Page 2. In June 1973, even though the theater only held 60 people, Curry'd find his next full-time role playing that of Dr. Frank-n-furter.
Do you know Richard O'Brien was the host of Crystal Maze in the UK?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He ran that, so he ran around kind of playing a hybrid of both his characters from the Rocky Horror Picture Show and Tim Curry's one in kind of this weird character running around trying to solve puzzles.
I have never seen Richard O'Brien in anything but Rocky Horror, and that's all I can picture him as.
Yeah.
You know, he was the voice of the father on Phineas and Ferb.
Was he?
Yeah.
But I can't picture him.
Nope.
I picture him doing the voice with the long hair and the bald head and the white makeup.
Yep. Don't forget the hunchback.
So Curry said he'd heard about the play because he lived on Paddington Bear Street. And that was off of Baker Street. I made that up. It's not really a street. Paddington Bear doesn't have his own street. It's
He
just
should.
Just Paddington Street.
which is actually very close to Paddington Station, where Paddington Bear was found with his marmalade sandwiches. Yes, I'm going to talk about Paddington Bear.
I guess we're going to do an episode on Paddington Bear. you got 3 weeks before you get to pick another topic.
Welcome
so-
to our episode about Tim Curry and the origin of Paddington Bear.
And marmalade sandwiches. There we go. So he lived off Paddington Street, which is off of Baker Street, which is there's another famous guy that lived on Baker Street. Anyone?
Well, yeah, Richard O'Brien.
No.
Oh.
No.
Really?
Sherlock Holmes.
Thank you,
There
JL.
go.
Yep.
Okay, so see, somebody got it.
I knew it too. I was just joking.
And there was no gym a few doors away from Paddington Street, which was off of Baker Street, where the detective lived. I saw Richard O'Brien in the street, and he said he'd just been to the gym. I saw Richard O'Brien in the street, and he said he'd been to the gym to
This
see
is
if he could
Tim
find...
Curry talking.
No, this is Richard O'Brien talking.
No, this is Tim Curry
Oh.
talking.
He's
Okay.
it's Tim Curry talking about Richard
the whole
O'Brien.
paragraph
Yeah.
is him talking.
Oh,
This
okay.
is
You
a
wanna
quote
start
from
over?
Tim Curry.
About Richard O'Brien.
Yes.
So he'd been to the gym to see if he could find a muscle man who could sing. I said, why did you need him to sing? And he told me about the musical that was going to be done. And I should talk more to Jim Sherman. He gave me a script, and I thought, boy, if this works out, it's going to be a smash.
Smash.
A brief character bio, Dr. Frank-n-furter. He is a mad scientist who's in pursuit of creating the perfect life form to serve as his sexual plaything. Hey, wait, we've got those nowadays, don't they? The robot dolls.
Yeah, the Japanese did the same thing.
Oh boy.
And he is a leader of the Transylvanians. He is charming and seductive, but also a murderer and a deviant hedonist.
Hedonist, yeah.
The deviant hedonist. He is also highly manipulative and harsh and can be pushed into homicidal rage very easily. Yet he can pull off wearing a corset just as well as any woman.
Even better.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he did have good legs.
Transylvanians.
Well, yeah, because he was just a sweet transvestite
Got it.
from transsexual.
Transylvania. Dun, dun.
Originally, Curry thought the character to be German with blonde hair, and then later tried it with an American accent. He finally settled on an English accent after listening to an English woman say, "Do you have a house in town or a house in the country?"
Can you say that with an English accent?
Maybe I could try.
Try.
If you don't do it well, he's going to raise your rent.
It already went up.
I know, no pressure.
If you can't do it like a Monty Python guy doing a woman.
That's not going to help me.
It's very easy.
No,
She's never seen Monty Python.
Yeah.
Do you have a house in the town or a house in the country? And decided, yes, Dr. Frank-n-furter should sound like the Queen.
That was actually
have a house in town or a house in the country?
You're very
good.
Yeah, you're a very naughty boy.
That sounded just like
So I passed.
that's my Eric
Yeah, you
Idle.
did very well.
Thank you.
You didn't do Monty Python at all. You
No,
just
no.
left us for the Monty Python
She
voices.
turned me into a newt.
Okay.
I got better.
You know, I pick up something watching Harry Potter and living with you for almost a year, so. Curry pictured the character. What? What?
Nothing.
Can
nothing.
I go? Can
No,
I
go right
talk?
ahead.
Are you sure?
You just said your reference for all English people was James
James
and
Harry
Potter.
It's fine.
Because
It's-
Harry Potter is realistic.
No, but Harry Potter is British.
It's the Muggles.
What was I watching when they were like, that's like half. Oh, there was on SNL. They made a joke about Harry Potter, and the person's like, "What's Harry Potter?" And they're like, "Are you kidding me? That's half of our entire economy." Like, it was funny. Okay, Curry pictured the characters as merely a laboratory doctor dressed in a white lab coat. At the suggestion of director Jim Sharman, the character evolved into the diabolical mad scientist and transvestite with an upper-class Bulgaria accent that carried over into the movie version of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Curry became a household name and it gave him a cult following. He continued to play the character in London, Los Angeles, and New York City until 1975. That's a long stretch for that character.
Before you start, JL, your beer is giving me the burps.
Yeah, it's very
Burp.
gassy.
I'm not the
I think
only
it's-
one?
Yeah, it's not face rape like the Ohio Red, but it's gas burp bubbles.
Well, because you're diving down, so you're like letting out all the oxygen as you dive deeper into the beer.
Oh my gosh.
Down, deeper and down. Now you're going to go back to status
You know,
quo.
I
Women
was
and
going to
children
try and
first.
come up with a
Sorry.
Van Halen reference for that one, but I got nothing after Nicole's explanation.
Ice cream man.
I'm trying to be funny.
Scooby Doobies.
You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Thanks, you don't have to lie.
But try the line, do you have a house in town or a house in the country like Monty Python again?
no. I've never seen Monty Python.
You know, we're going to watch The Life
Have
of
you
Brian
ever seen
tonight.
Rocky
Do we
Horror?
have to?
Yes.
No.
Wait a minute.
You've never seen Rocky Horror?
No.
Wait a minute. You've never seen any Monty Python
No,
at
that's
all?
what you just said.
No.
You're going to start off with Life of Brian?
Yeah,
Really?
that's one of my favorites.
Really? Not Holy Grail?
No, Life of Brian.
I think
Really?
I might have watched one of them. Does that get me out of watching it?
No, because we're ending on Meaning of Life.
Yeah, I think you should do Meaning of Life for Holy Grail.
No,
Okay.
Life of Brian.
There's better movies after you watch that one.
How did you not see Rocky Horror either?
I just haven't. I think I saw the Glee episode of Rocky Horror.
Hang on, you've never
Close
seen
enough.
You've never seen the Rocky. Fuck that. We're gonna watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show tonight.
Okay, that's better.
We're gonna start with that.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
If nothing else, you'll like the music.
Yeah, I have the soundtrack in the car, I think.
Okay.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show drew many famous fans, including Elvis Presley at a Los Angeles performance of the stage production, and Diana, Princess of Wales, at a theater performance in Austria. Curry was told that the princess wanted to meet him. When they met, she told him that the production quite completed my education and flashed a wicked smile.
I'm not sure what that means.
I don't know either. James, what does that mean?
She was being very cheeky, but in a
Coquettish.
very, very royal way, saying that she kind of didn't expect it. But she was notorious for being a bit of a cheeky monkey.
Was she being naughty?
Yes, she was being naughty.
Curry says Rocky Horror is a rite of passage, and added that the film is a guaranteed weekend party to which you can go with or without a date and probably find one if you don't have one. And it's also a chance for people to try out a few roles for size, help them maybe figure it out their own sexuality.
Did it help you, JL?
Yes.
I don't think a Rocky Horror would help anybody figure out their sexuality. You'll learn tonight, Nicole.
About your sexuality.
Or you won't, or you'll be more confused.
No, there's nothing to learn.
Oh, that's what you think until you watch Rocky Horror.
That's right. Your life could be changed. However, after the movie version of Rocky Horror, the Broadway play did not fare so well. Curry attributes this to Broadway not being ready to welcome a musical British pop art piece, and also thought the play ran after the time period of quirky productions having had their heyday already, such as the show The Theater of the Ridiculousness. The play closed and left Curry penniless and jobless. He couldn't pay his hotel bill, and when he told the owner said, "Just pay me when you come back, because I'm sure you will be back." Curry would go back and pay his tab on his next hit play.
Side note, in 2016, a television remake was made, and Curry played the Caribbeanologist. While Laverne Cox took the role of the Frank-n-furter, Curry was 70 years old and in a wheelchair due to his stroke. I actually offered myself as Dr. Scott because I was already in a wheelchair, he says. They thought the narrator was a better fit. The role of Dr. Scott went to another veteran, Ben Vereen.
Ben Vereen,
not Wolverine, Ben Vereen. After the end of the Rocky Horror's run on Broadway, Curry's next role was the Tristan Czar in the play Transvestite. It ran in London.
Travesties.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to keep laughing.
That's the transvestite part of the conversation.
I'm just stuck on transvestites tonight. See, I'm confused about my sexuality.
Well, you're going
James.
to learn.
It's okay. We'll go for a ride after this, and it'll be okay.
I don't want to go to OBT.
Boy.
It's because you're a sweet transvestite.
It ran in London and New York from 1975 to 1976. Do you want me to say it again?
Yeah,
Transvestites.
No, travesties.
It was a Broadway hit, and he won 2 Tony Awards and the New York Drama Critics Circle Award for Best Play.
Did anybody watch the remake of Rocky Horror?
No.
I heard it wasn't very good.
I don't think you can go back to that. It'd be like going back to the Future. Just leave it alone.
My gosh, that just stops my heart at the thought of that ever happening.
Because it's
It's going to
realistic.
happen.
I don't want it to happen. It wouldn't make sense if it happened.
The Rock's going to play Doc Brown.
No, what?
Can you smell what Doc Brown is
No,
cooking?
who would play Doc Brown? Who do you think would be a good Doc Brown in a remake?
Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
I'd actually be okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Because
Good. Good answer.
And Rock as Michael J. Fox's role.
No, Rock would be
Zac
Biff.
Efron.
The
Zac
Rock's
Efron.
going to be Biff.
Yeah.
I think Zac Efron would be a good
No.
Marty McFly.
He's not taking his shirt off.
He could. He
No.
has to change into the old-fashioned clothes.
No.
You know, his mom finds him and he's in his underwear.
No.
Right? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. In her room.
Hi, Mom.
Hi.
With his bloopy hanging out.
No, that was Orlando Bloom.
In 1981, Curry played Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart in the Broadway show Amadeus.
Amadeus,
Which
Amadeus.
you were just singing.
Amadeus, Amadeus.
Was the soundtrack by Falco?
Oh, Amadeus.
Happy Amadeus. He was nominated for his first Tony Award, Best Performance by a Leading Actor in a Play, but lost out to his co-star Ian McKellen, who played Antonio Salieri. Then, in 1982, Curry took the part of the Pirate King in The Pirates of Penzance opposite George Cole. During the mid-1980s, Curry performed in The Rivals and in several other plays with the Royal National Theatre of Great Britain, including The Threepenny Opera, Dalliance, and Love for Love. Then in 1988, Curry did a national tour of Me and My Girl as the lead role of Bill Snibson. Curry was drawn to this role as he wanted a change from playing dark roles and villains. In 1989 to 90, we saw Tim Curry on the New York stage in The Art of Success. In 1993, Curry's second Tony Award nomination for Best Performance by a Leading Actor in a Musical was his version of Alan Swan in the Broadway musical version of My Favorite Year.
All right, who's Tony and why does he give awards out every year?
I don't know. I don't know where Tony Award came from.
Tony.
Oh,
And this
boy.
will be a Nicole show.
Is this a reference from...
The producers!
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be
No.
Family Guy.
No. Think of the prestige. Think of the Tony. Tony. That's how he's trying to convince the guy to sign on to direct the play.
That doesn't still answer my question. Who was Tony and why is he giving out awards?
I don't know.
Okay.
I thought it stood for something.
Theatre of National Yits.
Theater of New York.
The
T-O-N-Y.
only new year. I don't know.
Teenage Oswald's nipples yellow.
In 2001, Curry was Scrooge in the musical version of A Christmas Carol.
I can see that.
Yeah. This played at Madison Square Garden. Then in 2004, Curry began his role of King Arthur in Spamalot.
Which is an amazing play. If you've never seen it, it's awesome.
No.
It has a you can watch it. They have a DVD of it.
Do they?
Yes. Worth watching. Very well done.
I saw that actually. I think
you've
I saw my cousin in that in Spamalot.
So that's a Monty Python thing.
Okay, perfect. So I'm out of having to watch them.
Nope, you still are.
Wait a minute. Your cousin was in the production of Spamalot?
Like a local production of Spamalot.
No,
Okay.
The
Yeah.
Spamalot.
Spamalot was based on the Monty Python cult classic movie, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. The show also starred Sarah Ramirez, David Hyde Pierce, and Hank Azaria. Hank Azaria played most of the people in it like he does on The Simpsons.
He's excellent.
It sold more than 1 million worth of tickets in its first 24 hours.
Holy moly.
Spamalot brought Curry his third Tony nomination, again for Best Performance by a Leading Actor in a Musical. His final performance was on January 6, 2007. He was also nominated for a Laurence Olivier Award as the Best Actor in a Musical for the role, and won the Theatergoers' Choice Award as Best Actor in a Musical. In May of 2011, Curry was scheduled to portray the player in the stage production of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead at the Chichester Festival Theater.
Sure.
Yeah. He had to withdraw from the production on May 27th due to declining health. He returned in April of 2012 to appear in Eric Idle's play, What About Dick?
I would like to see that. I didn't even know Eric
about
Idle
Dick?
had another play.
Chichester, by the way. It was Chichester.
It's Chichester, by the way.
Oh.
Chichester.
Chichester. You
Okay.
didn't have enough chichis
Chichi.
Yep.
in your pronunciation.
Damn.
Let's move on to Curry's movie career.
Yay.
As we mentioned before, Rocky Horror in both theater and film versions launched Curry's career. Viewings of the Rocky Horror movie became an interactive experience with people quoting and adding additional dialogue during the screenings. I highly recommend. Maybe we should take Nicole to an actual
Yeah.
showing
Yes,
At
the
Universal?
yes, the
at the whatchamajigger.
Yeah.
movie theater.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, but they do it at City Walk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everyone
Group
dresses
outing.
up.
Did you hear what's coming to City Walk?
Rocky Horror Picture Show, like every third Saturday or something.
Not that.
Oh.
Voodoo Donuts. They're popular. They originated in Oregon, and I went to the one in Austin, and it was really good. And now they're going to be at City Walk.
I think we need to bring donuts to the show, if I remember right. No, that's
Weren't
toast.
cinnamon buns enough? Homemade
Your
cinnamon
buns were not good enough.
No, you bring props to the show. Hold on, I'll keep going.
Oh, okay. Got it.
That's where I was going with that. People also like to dress as characters from the movie or just wear Dr. Scrubs. Props are used during certain key scenes. Rubber gloves come in handy to snap when Dr. Frank-n-furter first gets up to his lab after singing Sweet Transvestite. During a dinner scene where Frank puts on a hat, the audience does the same. Then in the same scene, when he proposes a toast, the audience throws slices of toast at the screen. Another example is during the song I'm Going Home, when Frank sings Cards for Sorrow, Cards for Pain. It is customary to throw cards. Either the plain or the greeting variety will do. Now, the show used to have a lot more stuff that you could do in it, but they had to ban some of it, so it's not quite as interactive as it used to be.
Throw
I
rice
wouldn't
at the
wanna-
wedding.
I wouldn't want
You used
to.
to be able to bring in umbrellas. You can't do that anymore. So
I wouldn't want to buy a whole bunch of donuts and then throw them and never get to eat them. That sounds like a waste.
well, it ended up being toast, not donuts.
Okay.
But you'll be a virgin at the show.
Oh.
You'll be considered a virgin.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the show?
For the 4th time
Oh, okay.
this year.
One time the film was playing the Waverly Theatre in New York, which Curry happened to be living close to. He often watched fans going to the midnight showings in costume. He had called up the theatre several times to ask if he could attend the show one night, but the theatre actually didn't believe him, so he just decided to show up. The fans were thrilled at Curry being there, but the theatre staff still weren't convinced it was him and threw him out. Curry showed them his passport, to which the theatre staff hastily apologized, but Curry refused to go back in.
Now, Tim Curry is very unique looking.
Yeah, like I don't know
how anyone could not think that was him.
how. After the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Curry next took to 2 supporting roles. One as Robert Graves in the British horror film The Shout, and then as Johnny LaGuardiola, a radio DJ in the movie Times Square.
How was the film The Shout? Is that any good?
I've never seen it.
It's
Never
a
even
British
heard of
film. I thought you had to watch
No.
every British film that ever
Just
came
the
out.
Monty Python, and then anything Benny Hill, and then they let you leave.
What about Mr. Bean? You don't have to watch any of his
No,
films?
that's just by choice. So.
How about Harry Potter?
No, we find the whole thing offensive to our culture.
You know what would be cool if Monty Python dressed up as women and then recreated Harry Potter?
The Monty Python's Harry Potter special.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
I think you're onto something here.
Harry Potter! Wingardium Leviosa! Leviosa, run!
See, it already works.
Somebody open the Chamber of Secrets!
My chamber's open, hole.
You nutted silly who must not be named!
See, already, just by doing an old lady voice in an English accent,
It makes everything beautiful.
It's the chosen one!
When you're done listening to this, here is something else you can sink your ear holes into.
Hey everyone, Hunnick Outcast here. Back in 1997, I tried to make my own freelance publication, Hunnick Outcasts. Founded in a thesaurus, Hunnick meaning gothic, Outcast is what I pretty much was. Films, any genre, comics, any genre, TV, you name it, I love discussing it. And now that we're in the podcast age, I still podcast with my partners in crime, Edward, Kendra, Todd, and any other guests that wish to come on the show. My gimmick is, I've got a BA in social science, so I try to bring philosophical and psychological aspects to it. But don't take my word for it. Listen to these testimonials that I have right here. Ahem. We know that you're serious. We've gotten little Johnny's ear in the mail. We don't have much money. But if you please accept us, we just want him home safe and sound. I don't know how that got there. Let me spell it out for you. HUNNICOUTCASTS. We're on Twitter, Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM. We're on the interweb. The interweb. It's not just for pornography anymore.
Hey, it's Chris from Podcast 42. Ecosia users have planted 20 million trees, which is enough trees to circle the entire Earth. Do you know what 20 million trees does? It provides clean air for almost 3 million people. Do you know what else 20 million trees does? It offsets car pollution, it helps wildlife, it even creates jobs. How can you become an Ecosia user? Is it hard? Do you have to be in a tree to do this? It's really super easy. Just go to ecosia.co/podcast42. That's ecosia.co/podcast42. You search for stuff you're looking for using Ecosia search engine, like who was that guy in that movie, you know, with the thing? What was his name? And then they take the ad money generated by your searches and plant trees where they're needed most. You don't even have to leave your chair, and a squirrel gets a new home, a kid gets a new tree house, a sidewalk gets some new shade, and the earth gets a breath of fresh air. It's free and it's privacy friendly, meaning they're not collecting your data and selling it to everybody. It's time to heal and regenerate the world's forests. You're going to search the web anyway for dancing cat videos, so why not plant a tree while you're at it? The goal is 1 billion trees by 2020. Ecosia. ecosia.co/podcast42.
In 1982, Annie, the musical from stage and comic strips, was turned into a movie. Carol Burnett played Miss Agatha Hannigan, a
I love
cruel,
Carol Burnett.
slovenly drunkard who managed the orphanage.
Slovenly.
Okay, see? So why did one say yes and one is correcting?
No,
Which is it?
It's slovenly.
Slovenly drunkard who managed the orphanage, and Tim Curry played Daniel Francis Rooster Hannigan, Agatha's con artist brother. Rooster just escaped from prison, and he and his new girlfriend pay his sister a visit in hoping to get money from her. When she didn't comply, he steals her, and Lily also steals some stuff.
No, he doesn't steal her. He steals from her.
Kidnapped, the new version.
Oh my!
Never know.
Annie, starring Liam Neeson. I have a special set of skills.
When she
I
didn't
will find
comply, he steals from her, and Lily also steals some stuff, but she gets caught. Next, Lily and Rooster pretend to be the Mudges, Annie's parents, and they pull it off successfully. Annie escapes, and Rooster decides to kill her. So, see, he is stealing a person, essentially, just being a little sneakier about it. Miss Hannigan tries to stop him, but gets punched by Rooster. Rooster is about to catch Annie when Miss Hannigan redeems herself and beats him with her purse. Rooster and Lily are then arrested.
No, your analogy is not going to work, because nobody ever says that they're stealing somebody when they kill them.
No.
They'll say murder.
I'm going to steal you later.
No.
I'm
but
going
it
to
says-
steal your life.
You make me so mad I could just steal you.
But they pretend to be her parents, and they take her, which is kind of like stealing her because they're not really her parents, and they're taking her when they're not really allowed to. That's kind of stealing.
Okay, that's a
But
good stretch.
Also, in that regard, this movie was really good. Like, they did such a good job. He was really good in this role.
I haven't seen this movie in 100 years.
Really?
Yeah.
It's one of the ones, that and Oliver Twist with drunk guy, what's his name? Fuck.
Drunk guy?
Yeah,
drunk guy.
the one who was an alcoholic but still did his role, and he played... I will find his name out in a second.
Okay.
And he was... But they're two of the classic kind of ones that had legal...
The guy who was in Arthur?
No, not the guy who was...
Dudley Moore.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Dudley Moore was in Oliver Twist?
No, he was Oliver Twist, because he was that short.
No, he was.
Yeah, it's around the same time he played an elf in Santa Claus the movie.
Yeah, Dudley Moore was tiny.
Please, sir, may I have another?
Well, anyway,
May I have some more?
reportedly,
Oh!
reportedly, Mick Jagger sought the role of Rooster Hannigan, but ultimately it went to Tim Curry.
Because he gets no satisfaction.
No, there
No.
is a rumor Mick Jagger was also up for the movie version of Dr. Frank-n-furter. Also rumored is that both actors have been passed over for a lead role in A Clockwork Orange. Tim Curry said he based his performance of Rooster on a stagehand he knew while performing a play in New York City. Who was it?
Oliver Reed.
I don't know who that is.
You know who Oliver Reed was?
Oliver Reed. Yeah, he was in Tommy.
Yes, he was very, very famous.
He was the stepdad in Tommy.
English actor that was notorious, always really drunk. And
His last role was in Gladiator.
Yeah.
Yes, he died. That was when they did the CGI thing with him.
Yeah.
And Star Wars copied.
You know how Tim Curry based his performance of Rooster on a stagehand?
Sure, yeah. I
Mick
do
Jagger
that.
was going to base his performance on Jumping Jack Flash.
Oh, let's talk about one of my favorite movies.
What's that?
The greatest board game movie of all time.
Monopoly.
Battleship.
That's the second greatest. Clue was in 1985. Tim Curry played the fast-talking butler Wadsworth in the big screen adaptation of the classic Parker Brothers board game. This 88-minute movie ended up being a box office flop, grossing only $14.6 million, but later developed a cult following.
I can't believe it's only 88 minutes. It seems a lot longer than that.
But it's so quick. It is.
It is, and it's so much fun, though.
Yeah.
It is now. It grew on me. I did not like it.
No, like the more times I've seen it, especially the endings to it, when they do all the different ones and they've
Yeah.
done the scene like 5,000
Oh,
times
yeah.
and they're like dying. Have you seen Clue?
A long time ago. I know I've seen it, though.
Got
It's
lucky on
realistic.
that one.
I like playing the game. Huh? Anybody like playing Clue?
Clue's good.
Yeah.
They've changed it.
Yeah, they did. They got rid of Mrs. White.
And they put
Betty
somebody else in.
Whitestone?
They put in, like, somebody else.
I
Yeah.
was always Miss Peacock.
They put in Mr. Plaid
Or
Yeah, I
Miss
think that was
Scarlet.
it.
and Mr. Corduroy.
Critics hated
Stop playing with the dog, Nicole. We got
I
a
know.
show to do.
You are too. Critics hated its mix of screwy humor, double entendres, poop jokes, and multiple endings. Multiple endings were the best part.
Yep.
Not at that time, because you didn't get them all.
No. 3 different endings were shot, and a different one shown at each theater. The entire film takes place inside a mysterious mansion in the 1950s. 6 suspicious individuals using code names from the game, such as Professor Plum and Miss Scarlet, are invited to confront their host and blackmailer, Mr. Body. The night ends in murder, 6 of them to be exact. But luckily, the house butler Wadsworth puts his butlering duties aside to solve the crimes through secret passages and recaps of the rooms, guests, and weapons.
Just like the game.
Just like the game. The movie had a great cast.
It really did.
It did.
The cast included Christopher Lloyd
Yay.
as ex-psychiatrist Professor Plum, Madeline Kahn as a Black Widow, Mrs. White, Michael McKean as State Department employee Mr. Green, and Martin Mull as gruff war profiteer Colonel Mustard.
He was great in that.
An interesting side note, Carrie Fisher was originally slated to play Miss Scarlet until she ended up in rehab 4 days before filming started, and Leslie Ann Warren came in as a last-minute substitute. After the production concluded, the mansion set was bought and redecorated by the producers of Dynasty, who used it as the Carlton Hotel.
They also didn't want Carrie Fisher involved because she wanted a scene when she died of her floating in space like an angel.
Oh.
And then she uses the Force to get herself back into a spaceship. And they said, we don't have the budget for that, Carrie.
And also, Rian Johnson was only in diapers before he thought of that.
Legend is a 1985 American dark fantasy adventure film directed by Ridley Scott. And besides Curry, also starred everyone's favorite actor, Tom Cruise, and Mia Sara.
Michael Cera was in this too?
No, Mia.
Ferris Bueller's girlfriend.
Is that who that is?
Yes.
Oh, she's cute.
What, with the sleeves? No, never mind.
She's Sloane.
With the sleeves?
I
Wizard's
was totally thinking of a different movie. I don't know why I thought of
What
that.
movie are you thinking of?
Napoleon Dynamite.
Every single movie.
Because right now, Ferris Bueller and Napoleon Dynamite are so similar.
But did she say the one with the sleeves?
Yes.
Yep.
And then she said, what movie am I thinking of?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because everybody wears sleeves.
No, in Napoleon Dynamite, when they're dancing, he's like, I like your sleeves, because they're the big puffy sleeves
Okay.
on her dress. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm so sorry.
Oh, she was in that one movie, too. The one
Time
with the
Cop.
one where she wore the pants.
Oh,
Yeah, with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
and the high socks.
Yes.
High socks was the other one.
And the shoes.
No.
The
Oh,
Wolverines.
who's that one actress that wore the shoes?
Halle Berry.
I can't remember.
I don't think it was Halle Berry.
Toes, yes, the painted toenail scene.
Yeah.
He senses the presence of 2 unicorns who safeguard the power of light, and he seeks to kill the unicorns and bring him their horns to free himself. Although not a commercial success when first released, it won the British Society of Cinematographers Award for Best Cinematography and was nominated for several others. Originally, director Scott was considering Richard O'Brien from Rocky Horror to play Meg Mucklebones, but after watching said movie, he chose Tim Curry instead. Tim Curry's makeup as Darkness and Legend is considered one of the most iconic images in all of fantasy cinema.
It really is. Like when you,
I never saw it. I heard it was so bad, I just never bothered.
yeah, but it's just one of those things like when you see the character that he portrayed, the makeup job they did,
Yeah.
it's phenomenal.
So then moving forward to 1990, it gave us another big role for Tim Curry, and that was a demonic clown and a shapeshifter in the movie It, where he starred as Pennywise.
Never heard of this movie.
I was waiting for JL, sorry.
No, being good.
There you are.
What's it on your shirt?
Pennywise.
Oh,
He wore
nice,
the Pennywise shirt.
nice coincidence.
Ah,
I specifically wore the Tim Curry shirt for this show.
nice. Where'd you find that?
Local artist.
Okay.
You know, I just bought the original It on DVD for $5 at Best Buy.
Because it was on DVD.
So it was on DVD.
DVD.
Yep, DVD.
How much is it on VHS?
I didn't see
Probably
it on
like
DVD.
$35.
Probably is.
Have you heard, there's the one Cinderella one, which was the limited edition release back like 15, 20 years ago, and it has a gold box or something else on it, and they're selling for like $490 on eBay.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And that's a VHS.
Because they released it from the vault.
A vault?
Yeah. That was
The
Disney's
vault.
thing for a while. They would say they're releasing these movies from the vault.
And now they're going to have their own Netflix streaming service, so that'll never happen again.
I think it's already here. It's called Movies Anywhere. I use it a lot.
Yeah, I use that too. I have it on Movies Anywhere.
The new one?
No, the old one.
Oh.
Both are good.
So, this was a mini-series, not a mini-series, that's it's one word. It was based on the book by Stephen King's adaptation. The story revolves around Pennywise, who has the ability to transform itself into its victims' worst fears. So right now, Nicole's worst fears will be unrealistic movies.
Yeah.
And the hours she's going to spend watching Monty Python.
Uh-huh. It mostly takes the human form of the sadistic, wisecracking clown. The heroes are the Losers Club. Yes, the Losers Club. A group of outcast kids who discover Pennywise and vow to destroy him. The series takes place over 2 different periods of time. The first, when the losers first confront Pennywise as children in 1960, and the second, when they return as adults in 1990 to defeat him for the second time after he surfaces. But I thought it was like every 100 years.
27.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
27?
27.
Oh, see?
This is more than 27-year cap, though. Just pointing that out, 1960 to 1990.
Not really, because it was 1963.
It says in 1960.
It could be 1960s.
Yeah, there's just an S missing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The miniseries also stars Richard Thomas, John Ritter, Annette O'Toole, and Harry Anderson.
I am a big Harry Anderson fan. He was one of my heroes growing up.
Night Court.
Yes.
I still haven't watched it.
And he, if you can catch his appearances on Saturday Night Live, also very good.
He kind of like disappeared though.
He did disappear. I don't know why. He's awesome.
Lawrence D. Cohen, who adapted the book, hadn't written the script with a specific actor in mind for Pennywise. Malcolm McDonald, Alice Cooper, and Roddy McDowall were in the consideration to play Pennywise.
Out of those 3, Roddy McDowall I think would have been the best.
No, I think Alice Cooper would have been the
I
best.
don't know, I think Alice Cooper would have been really lame, but like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I think Roddy McDowall would have been awesome.
Yes, I said that with sarcasm.
I thought Roddy Piper would have been the best.
Who?
Roddy Piper.
As he hits the kids over the head with a coconut.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Wallace told The Hollywood Reporter that his job as a director, quote, was to give Tim the stage and not get in his way too much. He was like Robin Williams in a way. He brought a spontaneous improvisation to the part. Curry gave Pennywise a Bronx accent in order to sound like an old-time Catskills comic. I just let it happen, Curry said. Clowns are your worst fear, realize. And I think I scared a lot of children.
Yeah, you did. And adults.
The appearance of Pennywise was based on Lon Chaney in Phantom of the Opera. Lon Chaney in Phantom of the Opera. The original mock-up of Pennywise featured exaggerated cheekbones, a sharp chin, and a bulbous forehead. According to Wallace, Curry objected strongly to all the rubber. He had recently been in several movies which covered him in prosthetics, and I'm sure he felt all the glue and latex would just get in his way. He was right, of course. With those eyes and that mouth and his crazy, sardonic sense of humor, Les turned out to be more in the makeup department. To achieve the white complexion, Curry did wear prosthetic makeup cream to make him appear like almost a living cartoon. It was originally proposed that Tim Curry play all forms it shifts into, except the giant spider. They decided it'd be quicker to have different actors playing those forms than to wait for Curry to have the makeup applied on him.
It is internet speculation that Tim Curry suffered from a debilitating case of colorophobia, or a fear of clowns. His contract forbade mirrors or other reflective surfaces anywhere near him during filming, so he would not catch a glimpse of himself in makeup. Supposedly a makeup tech was very nearly fired for having a makeup mirror in hand while applying Curry's makeup one day.
I don't believe this one bit.
No.
No, I think that was just something somebody made up.
Oh.
Could be wrong, but it doesn't sound like Tim Curry.
The other actors said that Tim Curry's characterization of Pennywise was so creepy and realistic, they all tried to avoid him during the filming. In a scene when Pennywise and Georgie, played by Tony Dakota, Curry was so in character that Dakota remarked, "Tim, you're scaring me." Curry responded with, "Gee, I'm so sorry, but that's what I'm supposed to be doing, and you're supposed to be scared."
Georgie.
Hiya, Georgie. However, while waiting for reshoots during the theater scenes, Tim Curry often came onto the stage in full costume and conducted sing-alongs with the child actor extras, most of whom didn't know who he was. They thought he was actually a clown hired to entertain them.
Try to get through this line without laughing.
No, because the Keanu Reeves is just coming out. Side funny note. It was remade in India as Whoa in 1997.
That's awesome.
Whoa.
I wonder if he sang to the child actors while I was entertaining them with the big sharp teeth in.
That would be great.
That would be awesome.
I think it's the iconic picture of him, I think, in black and white, smoking a cigarette.
In the full makeup? Yeah.
And then one when he's in a robe, just like hanging out. Like.
But he's like full makeup, got the hair, everything, and the cigarette's just dangling from his lips.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Home Alone 2 was released in 1992.
Yay.
And starred pretty much everyone from the first installment. The plot of... What do you mean, yay? Did you like this one?
It took place in New York.
Doesn't make it good.
Okay.
I'm from New York. It's nostalgic for me.
So did the Avengers. The plot of this one was that Kevin and his family decided to take a trip to Florida, but Kevin takes the wrong plane and ends up in Oklahoma. See, she's not paying attention.
Exactly. You can say anything. New York sucks.
In Boston.
Yeah.
I hate New York pizza and bagels.
What?
See?
Liar.
Say bagels eventually.
She's
Liar.
back.
No, the pizza too. That's such a lie. New York pizza's the best pizza.
Kevin uses his...
Depends where it's from.
Maybe Chicago's the best pizza.
No, I've had Chicago pizza. I was not thrilled
In
with
Chicago?
it. Yes.
Or did you go to Pizzeria Uno?
No, I was in
went to
Chicago.
Giordano's.
I was in Chicago, and I was not a fan of the deep dish pizza. It's just too much.
It's never too much.
It is too much.
Where did
Much
you go
too
in
much.
Chicago?
I don't remember. It
Much
was
too
back
young.
in 2013, 2012, 2013.
She was a mere laugh.
That's a long time ago.
It was so long ago.
It was so long ago.
Kevin uses his father's credit card to stay at the Plaza Hotel, but is soon confronted by the wet bandits and must outrun and outprank them again. And yes, this is the one with the Donald Trump cameo, who also owns the hotel. It is rumored that Macaulay Culkin asked to have the carpet removed from the Plaza lobby for one scene so that he could slip and slide on the floor. Trump liked it so much, he never had it refitted, and then he decided to run for president.
And then he took the carpet with him.
Everywhere he goes, he
hair.
carries the carpet. Curry has recently been playing Donald Trump in... No. Curry played Mr. Hector. Although in the film he was just referred to as the concierge, Mr. Hector was a very pompous and sly individual and a bit of a bully. He presumed that Kevin McAllister, Macaulay Culkin, had stolen his father's credit card and as such treated Kevin like a criminal. Originally, Robert De Niro was considered for the role as the concierge, which would have just been weird.
Why?
Because I don't think he can do that.
De Niro can do anything. He's De Niro.
He's De Niro.
He would play him like a gangster.
During the scene when Curry peeks into the bathroom of Kevin's room to check who is in there, Kevin uses a blow-up clown doll to give the illusion that his dad is having a shower. When the clowns him to get out, Curry screams and runs away. This is rumored to be a nod to Stephen King's It and the Pennywise Clown, which
I never noticed that.
really don't believe that, but okay.
I kind of believe that.
I don't know.
Why wouldn't you believe that?
It's kind
Yeah,
of
why wouldn't you believe that? It's believable.
because it was in Oklahoma, and nothing ever happens in Oklahoma.
No, I think it was in
Exactly.
Seattle, wasn't it?
What?
Exactly.
Let's read about the next movie that
Right.
takes place in Tulsa.
Yeah, Congo in 1995 has Curry playing the villainous Hermerker.
Herkimer. Herkimer. Homolka.
Herkimer.
Herkimer. Polka. The adaptation of the Michael Crichton novel. Did I say that
Crichton.
one right?
Crichton.
Why would you give me this one with all the weird names?
You know, normally what's great is that she should have probably read Muppet Treasure Island or something like that.
Yes,
you
that's
know,
what
The
it-
Shadow,
Can
something
we
she
trade
knows.
JL, why don't you read this one? I'll read Muppet Treasure Island.
No.
Please?
I am really enjoying this right now.
I don't know how to say it either.
I know every line to Muppet Treasure Island.
Can you
This-
continue to tell me about Herkimer Homolka?
This is such a bad movie, but I do like it.
Do you know who was in this movie that had a cameo?
But
The
The
Evil
greatest,
Dead.
the greatest actor of all time, Bruce Campbell.
good. Okay, so you keep talking about this one, and then I'll do Muppet Treasure Island. Please.
I was going to say
Do you know
John
Michael
Cusack's not in this.
Do you know who the author is, Michael Crichton?
You know what this movie needed? Jeff Goldblum.
Yes, more Goldblum.
Oh,
Jeff Goldblum would have been great.
Michael
in Congo.
Crichton wrote Jurassic Park.
yes.
Oh, cool.
Amongst many, many other films.
Yes, like Rising Sun and
All right, well, you
They
seem to
Down
have
on a
this one,
Strain.
so...
yeah.
No, you can't trade parts.
What?
This is your script.
But I want to read my... No, it's not. It's yours. I want to read Muppet Treasure Island.
Herkimer
Homolka.
Homolka. Herkimer Homolka.
Read about the evil gorillas, please. She's never seen this movie.
Yes. Yes. He is a Romanian man who offers to finance the expedition of the Congo.
Go.
Where the rest of the team thinks they are going to find their missing coworkers. Curry's character is supposed to be a wealthy philanthropist, but is soon revealed that he is in dire financial straits.
Wait. Who is Curry's character?
I don't know. His real aim is to find the mythical lost city of Zinj.
That's almost how he says it in the movie, too.
It's not Minge, but yes.
Zinja.
I hate you. Why would you give me this one and not the fun kids
It's not
one?
planned. It's just, it's not
It
planned.
goes in order. We have a cycle. It's just how it works.
The lost city where he lost another expedition some years before. Also, a sign language speaking gorilla tags along to be re-released back into the jungle because that stuff happens.
Because the guy from
Nip
what was
Tuck.
Nip Tuck trained him.
The most memorable thing that most people take away from the film is the line, "Stop eating my sesame cake," said to Tim Curry's character while trying to bribe the baddie to get across the border of Zaire.
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 I quit. This movie is borderline cult status, but just not there yet.
Tim Curry says Zinj so well in that movie.
That's the whole reason he got cast.
Zinj.
Yeah.
Let's read about his other take of Herkimer Homolka in Muppet Treasure Island in 1996 that sees the Muppets on their 5th big screen feature that I'm sure Nicole has seen.
Yes, I love Muppet Treasure Island.
This movie, of course, is based on the classic Robert Louis Stevenson novel that has been done many times before. Curry joins the Muppets on a grand adventure to find buried treasure as the infamous pirate Long John Homolka. He modeled Long John Silver's voice after his grandfather's. Long John Silver is a deceptively charming pirate who is posing as a chef.
With one leg. One leg. He has
Yes,
one leg.
that he lost in Transylvania. He befriends young Jim Hawkins, the ship's token orphan boy. Long John is overheard by Gonzo, Rizzo, and Jim revealing his dastardly plans to his fellow pirates aboard the ship. Despite being a villain, he genuinely cares about Jim.
He had a song, by the way. We were talking earlier about him singing, and I know he sang, obviously, in Rocky Horror Picture Show, but he sang a song called Professional Pirate.
How does that go?
When I was just a lad, looking for my true vocation, my father said, "Now, son, this choice deserves deliberation. Though you could be a doctor, or perhaps a financier, my boy, why not consider a more challenging career?" But, like, much deeper and Tim Curry sounding.
He also sang a song called Hermiker
Homolka.
You can sing my song, harmonica, harmonica. You might try to use a harmonica.
You know, Tim Curry had been a huge fan of the Muppets for years before doing this movie, and has stated in many interviews he regards this role as one of his favorite roles. He was even given a Muppet made in his likeness of him as Long John Silver after shooting was completed. All right, if that's the case, I want to be in a Muppet movie.
Me too.
that'd be
Podcast
awesome.
42 will do the Muppets.
I will totally be in a Muppet movie, very cheap, as long as I get a Muppet after the end of it that looks just like me.
Well, we all know what Jason Segal's Muppet looks like, right?
Yeah, him
or
with
Sheldon's Muppet, I'm sorry.
We should do a Muppet
Sheldon.
remake of Congo.
Yes.
Yes.
Kermit as harmonica. Oh my god.
And Sweetums as the sign language person.
And me as the gorilla.
Beaker. No, Beaker is Herkimer Homolka. Oh, there I am. Tim Curry tried using a peg leg for the character, but the discomfort forced him to change to using a crutch instead. David Bowie was rumored to be considered for the role at one time.
That'd be so weird.
Yeah, it would not work. It would not work.
Other movie credits include Dr. Petroff in The Hunt for Red October, Mr. Jigsaw in Loaded Weapon, Cardinal Richelieu in... Richelieu.
Ha-ha.
Yep.
Ha-ha.
I said
See,
that.
I get to correct you on one.
Yep, that's what I said.
Yeah, huh?
That's what I just coughed it when I read it, so you didn't quite hear it right.
It's
In
a
the
Charlie
Three
Sheen movie nobody
Musketeers,
admits to knowing.
And Roger Corwin and Charlie's Angels.
I like the Three Musketeers.
That was good.
I know, because Kiefer Sutherland makes such a believable musketeer.
And so does, what was the other one? The one who
Charlie
plays Robin?
Sheen?
No, the one who plays Robin. In
Chris
Batman.
O'Donnell?
That one. Yes.
Who was the other one? Who was the last one? Was it Oliver Platt?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was the most believable out of all of them.
It was a good movie. There were laughs in that.
Yeah,
I liked
it was
it.
all right.
It was okay.
Curry was the best part of it.
Yeah, he was.
Always.
And I'm just saying that because we're doing his thing today. For TV, he has been in numerous things like Roseanne, Tales from the Crypt, which earned him an Emmy Award nomination, The Tracy Ullman Show, Lex, The Naked Truth, Monk, Will and Grace, Psych, and Criminal Minds.
I remember him on Criminal Minds. He did a two-parter.
Did
Yeah,
he?
it was a very creepy role.
Was he a bad guy?
He did a great job,
Yeah.
though. It's typical of him, though.
Yep.
Well, like Congo would not be half as good without him.
I don't think I would have watched Congo if he wasn't in it.
Yeah.
And I think he did, honestly, the Muppets as well. He really did shine in that one.
Yeah, that would have just been another remake. It would have.
Yeah.
He carried that movie as well. He has also lent his voice to many video games and animation in movies and television, such as roles in Tarius Bubula, in Darkwing Duck, The Serpent.
Taurus Bulba.
That's what I said. I said that.
Yeah, you did. Exactly, just like that, actually.
Hukama in Congo, the animated series. The Serpent and the Great Adventures, stories from the Bible, Captain Hook in the Fox animated series Peter Pan and the Pirates, Maul in Captain Planet and the Planeteers, Dr. Anton Severus in Gargoyles, King Chicken in Duckman, Lord Dragonos in The Mighty Ducks, Palpatine in Star Wars The Clone Wars.
I did not know that.
He took over for somebody. And Charlene's Coat in Jim Henson's Dinosaurs, just to name a few. Of course, the greatest role is from the Wild Thornberrys from 1998 to 2004, playing Nigel Thornberry.
Hey, that's another one we didn't mention in Nickelodeon.
I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah,
Oh.
we didn't go over it too much, but we mentioned it. Nigel was the lovable leader of the Thornberry clan. Curry had the distinction of starring alongside Flea from the band Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Because, you know, what else would you want to do apart from star alongside Flea?
Star alongside Anthony Kiedis.
Yeah.
So, music. Lots and lots of music. Not including soundtracks, records, Curry had some success as a solo musical artist. His musical influence included such artists as Billie Holiday, Louis Armstrong, and he had idolized the Beatles and the Rolling Stones as a teenagers. In 1978, A&M Records released Curry's debut solo album called Read My Lips. The album featured a wide range of songs, but were mostly covered. The standout on the album was a reggae version of the Beatles song I Will, which I would love to hear right now.
Amazon Music has them all.
Really?
I listened to some of the albums, and they don't really hold up well. They're very dated.
The following year, Curry released his second and most successful album, titled Fearless. The LP was more rock-oriented than Read My Lips, and mostly featured original songs rather than cover versions. The record included Curry's only U.S. charting song, I Do the Rock, and Paradise Garage. Curry's third and final album, Simplicity, was released in 1981, again by A&M Records. This record, which did not sell as well as the previous offering, combined both original and cover versions of songs.
In 1989, A&M released The Best of Tim Curry, which was one album. And included a previously unreleased song, a live cover version of Bob Dylan's Simple Twist of Fate. In 1990, he performed as the prosecutor in Roger Waters' production of The Wall in Berlin.
That I would like to see. That would be cool.
On May 23rd, 2013, at the age of 67, Tim Curry suffered from a stroke that has greatly affected his speech and put him in a wheelchair. However, the actor still manages to make appearances, although rare, and is generally in good spirits.
He went to MegaCon last year.
Really?
Yes.
And he did autographs. Well, he didn't do autographs, but he did pictures, and then you could get autographs, but they had to be mailed later.
That's awesome.
Yeah, considering he can't really move or talk or anymore,
Yeah.
which is a shame. I mean,
Which is why I didn't want... It was just one of those things where you remember how he is as an actor, how he was, like, you know, watching his old stuff, and you just go, I don't know if I can handle seeing somebody that I really liked that much
Yeah,
in that shape.
state. That was cool. That was interesting. I learned a lot.
Yes, you learned a lot.
We did.
You learned
Yes,
the name
that you've never seen Monty Python, you've never seen Rocky Horror,
never seen Congo.
No.
you don't know who Herkimer Homolka is.
You will never forget him now.
Well, let's move on to this awful beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very gassy.
It's not so much gas. It's just way too malted for my taste. There's really nothing else going on besides the malts.
I enjoyed it. It was gassy but enjoyable.
Yeah, it's enjoyable, but very gassy.
All I did was burp away from the microphone the entire time. I'm giving it a 2.
I'm giving it a 1. I really didn't like it. I finished it, but I don't care for it. I won't have another.
I'm not that mean. I'm going to say 4.
You know what? I'm going to say 3.
Really? I thought you would like it better.
1,
No.
2, 3, 4.
I'm giving it a 3. The,
comes next,
the
Nicole?
gaseous nature of it really took away from it.
I enjoyed it, though. It was very, very, very like a loaf of bread.
Like a loaf of bread.
It was. It's the best thing since sliced bread in beer form.
And that was Diver Down. What's in the emails?
Let's see, we got an email from Libby saying, what have been your favorite beers you have tasted since you have started the show?
Diver Down. My
No.
favorite of all time.
You
Anything
can't say
from
that when
Genesee.
you give it a 2.
Any Genesee beer has been phenomenal.
Did we have like an orange sunburst one? Or the lemon drop was
The
good.
lemon drop's been by far my favorite.
James really liked
Yeah.
the Neapolitan beer.
No. That's
I
the
don't
worst
think
beer.
anybody liked that
My
one.
favorite was the Dunkel from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was really good.
Yeehaw Dunkel.
Yeehaw Dunkel. The lemon drop was still, I think, my number 1.
Hamburg Red was really good.
There was definitely an orange one that was
Elysian
too.
Space Dust IPA is one of my favorites.
bad.
What's the one you had to put whipped cream on to drink?
That was
a Genesee beer.
Yeah,
that was the salted caramel porter.
Ugh. It just sounds bad.
It was.
I was
Faraz
around
is
for
still
that.
cleaning it out of his stemware as we speak.
That was That was the one where we put whipped cream on beer. It happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good times.
Yes.
Good times.
And beer aficionados threw up everywhere.
Well, those are the only emails we have. Which
So
means,
email.
Yeah, so people need to email us. So if you're listening and you have any questions for us, you can email us at podcast42show@gmail.com. When I say 42, it's the numbers 42. Don't spell out 42 because you're not going to email us. And then we won't get your question and then it won't be answered.
And you need to crumpet rate Annie and Muppets.
Muppets is like 100 crumpets because
No,
it's
not
amazing.
Muppets is definitely
A 10.
11.
It's
Really?
so good.
Yeah,
It's not a
such-
12, right?
It's I can't give it a 12 because also it
I
has
would go
the
10.
The giant fire, the great sing-alongs, the funny thing. Do you know the little kid from that movie? Yeah, he went on to host his own comedy show now in the UK.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's like
Tim Hawkins?
It's a Herkimer Hokema show.
Yes, it is. Annie, I always enjoyed Annie. I liked that as a kid. I'll give that 8 just for sentiment.
High ratings.
And then, actually, I've got one more for you.
Okay.
Me and Nicole finished it last night. Do you remember watching it, Nicole? Because you didn't watch any of it. You just played on your laptop. Jack Black,
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't watch it at all.
in the Polka Man movie now on Netflix.
I didn't know
Polka
that one.
King.
The Polka King. Jack Black plays a true story.
Oh, yes. I saw that on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet, but I know what you're
And
talking about.
do you know what? Netflix did a really good job of it, and it's basically another true life story. Jack Black plays the character. I sat back and went, this is going to be terrible, but he, much like he did with the one where he was the guy that killed the woman, which I can't think of the name right now, the Jack Black movie.
I don't watch
Where they
any
killed
Jack
a
Black
woman?
movies.
Killed the woman, but then pretended that she was still alive.
Weekend at Bernie's.
No,
Mars Attacks?
it was another independent one.
School of Rock.
Jack Black wasn't in Mars Attacks, was
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was. He was young in Mars Attacks. Was
He was. He plays the brother who's in the army.
Hang on 1 second. It was...
4 Christmases?
No.
For Christmas.
Bernie.
Which
The
one?
movie was called Bernie.
I was Nicole's
I was
Weekend at
close,
Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie.
It was. You were close. But Bernie was a guy who was from this little town. Another true life story. Jack Black played the character. Guy who killed an old lady. But he was like a super sweet guy, but she was abusing him. And he eventually lost his temper, but then kept up that. So this was kind of in the same foray of him playing a real life character. The guy was basically running a Ponzi scheme, got found out, went to jail, but is still the king of poker and has like done all these things. Like he promised these people all this money that he could meet the Pope, and somehow he managed to get his way into the Vatican with like 50 US tourists. So, but I'd give it out.
Is the soundtrack by Tenacious D?
No, it's by the Poker King. Poker.
Tenacious D could do polka.
See, that just makes me think of the first Home Alone.
What? Poker King, yes.
Yes.
With John Candy, who was
Yes.
the Poker King in
Oh, okay.
The Midwest Polka King, though. Not the.
That wasn't in
Pennsylvania.
Trains, Planes, and Automobiles? He was the polka guy?
It was the same
I
character.
think he was a polka king and everything.
Is it the same
Either way,
character?
he's
I think
always,
it was the nod to the same
he's
character.
always trying to go back to Chicago.
See, how can you say that's a nod to John Candy's character in a different movie, but you don't believe the clown is a nod to
Because it was
Tim
a s-
Curry being an it?
The
'Cause they're
same
both-
director.
Yeah, they're both John
Yeah.
Hughes movies.
So, but why wouldn't it be a nod for one?
Because
And
John
not the
Hughes
other?
didn't do it.
Did you see Planes, Trains, and
Chris
Automobiles?
Columbus didn't do it.
Yeah.
Did you see Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
No.
Oh, Steve Martin. John Candy. That could get like
That's
7.
not a pillow.
But anyway, back to my Polka King.
Yes, you
Sorry.
didn't. You were about to rate it, but you got squirreled.
9.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I think I enjoyed it more than Adam Sandler's efforts on Netflix.
I like Jack Black if he doesn't do over-the-top Jack Black.
When he does, like...
If he does subtle Jack Black, it's good.
Yeah.
But when he goes over the top Jack Black, it's not so great.
There's a series on Netflix that I recommend. The End of the Effing World. It's really good.
I want to watch that.
It was really good. It's only 8 episodes, and the episodes are only 20 minutes long, so you can really bang it out in one night if you wanted to.
Yeah, you can.
Bangity
Yeah,
bang
yeah.
instead of bang bang bangity bang.
Bang, bang.
Yeah, go for it. But it was actually really
Bang,
good.
bang,
There's
give the
some
taffy
good twists
butt.
to it. So I recommend that. Check it out.
Well, where can you find us?
Somebody? Anybody? I did emails.
Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, podcast apps are recommended.
Everything. You can find us
Everywhere.
Anywhere you find podcasts, you can find us.
Everywhere but Spotify.
Everywhere but Spotify.
Don't try to find us on Spotify.
Don't try to find us on
Spotify hates us.
Spotify hates us.
It's like I got an echo.
It really is as well. I was about to say. You should say something like...
What if I said something in an echo? What if I echo, my echo.
Egos? Are you 11 now from Stranger Things?
And then find us in our Facebook group, the official Podcast 42 Facebook group, now 550 members strong.
I know, we did that really. We went from like 450 to 500 in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So popular.
I've been paying people to join.
How much? A penny?
I give them a quarter and a Taco Bell coupon.
They're getting more than we are, and we're the ones on the podcast.
You got paid the other week. Don't.
My penny is still right here. I'm saving it for something good.
We get paid if you listen to us on Spreaker, so that's what you should be pushing.
Listen to us on Spreaker. And if you go to join our Facebook group, it will ask you a question. How you found us.
If you go to join our Facebook group, it'll ask you a question. How did you find us?
And if you answer it taffy, but we will give you a coupon.
See, how do you like it now? I'm imitating you.
I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't
See,
care.
You don't care. None of us care. None of this matters. That's what we're saying. Yeah, go on.
So join us at the Herkimer Homolka Appreciation page.
Join us in our group, Herkimer Hokama.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a disease.
Yeah.
Sounds like a disease. All right, cool. So who
That's
is
it.
everybody? Anybody?
I'm Herkimer Homolka.
Okay.
I'm Herkimer Homoka's brother.
I'm an old-time newsreader. I've been waiting for that the whole time.
Oh, my goodness. And I'm Nicole Fasone, the only real person here.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Zinj.
You are no longer listening to Podcast 42.
Some of the stuff you just heard might have been embellished, made up, or just plain incorrect. In other words, don't use this show to write a book report with. You will get a bad grade. Just like all the hosts.
But I'm not done yet.
JL's Beer Cooler is written and performed by Cremo. Cremo is an award-winning actor and musician. For all things Cremo, including more great music, visit cremo.com. That's spelled Craymo. He is on Twitter at Cremo. Facebook, just search Cremo Music, and also on YouTube under, you guessed it, Cremo.